Hello artists! Welcome to Catching Snowflakes drawing tutorial. Today we're going to play with drawing a portrait from a different perspective. Most of the time when we draw portraits, we draw the front of the face, or sometimes we do the side view. This is going to be a view where we're looking at it and seeing the chin and the nose with the face tilted upwards. So when it's cold outside, I'm always looking for snowflakes. And I love to try to catch them. I love to make them into snowballs or to try to make a snow fort. And when I'm feeling really brave and really warm, sometimes I even like to do a snow angel in the snow. I hope we have a really good snowy winter this year. And to prepare for it, we're going to do a drawing of a person catching snowflakes. So our tools are drawing paper and crayons, and optional if you have one or want to make one real quick, a snowflake. So this is just cut out of paper. This one's a little bit big, but I'm going to make it work because we're artists and we do creative things. So we're going to do this one a little bit of a illustration style. So that means we're going to have a black outline around everything. A lot of artists do that on purpose because they want to show a sort of like a greeting card style or an illustration for a story style or a book. So we're going to go with that style today. And I am going to be working with my paper vertical, tall. You could do this drawing horizontal as well. So, yeah, I almost feel inspired to turn it, but I'm going to keep it here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the head, the shape of the head. And when we tilt it backwards and upwards, it's no longer that egg shape. So I'm going to start, and I want it to be nice and big. So I'm going to say I want it to be right about here. So I'm going to put my hand here, and I'm going to put the nose like that, right on top. Now remember, this is the nose looking upwards, so it's not the normal view. I'm going to put a little dot over here. I think that's really going to be too big. But I know I want to go from out there. And then I'm going to draw an oval. So a letter O on its side or a 0 on its side, not a circle. I'm not trying to do, all of my circles are filled with things. I'm not trying to do this, right? This is a circle. I want an oval. So to do that, I'm going to come out toward I want to leave a little space because I want to be able to put like earmuffs or a hat maybe. So I want to leave some room. So I'm going to come out towards that dot and out towards that dot. All right. So these are the cheeks. We have the nose and the cheeks. And then I'm going to come around and finish it off. Okay. Now, the inside of our nostrils are really dark. So I'm going to make two little ovals here, and I'm just going to fill them in with the black because they're really dark. The shadow in there fills everything up. Now, if I'm trying to catch a snowflake, my mouth is open. And we're going to get some teeth and a little bit of tongue. And so I'm going to put a mouth. And since I'm doing an illustration style, I'm going to do a little cartoony, comic-y. And so I'm going to play with this shape for my mouth. And I want to be nice and big because, you know, you want to catch that snowflake, right? And then teeth shape in the front. These are four of them, right? They're kind of flat on the bottom, and these are a little pointy. So there we go. I'm going to put a little bit of space, and 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe you can fit the pointy one in, maybe not. And then I would have the tongue, which is not a straight line, a little bit of a round. It's a curve, right? And it's pretty dark inside the mouth too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the black crayon right now to fill that in. All right, and I'm gonna get a little bit of space in between each tooth. I don't want too much space there. Okay, so now I've got my, my basic head in there. Looking up, I can't see the eyes because the head's tilted back so far to get everything. Now, a scarf and part of the body. We need some shoulders, right? So, scarves. Here's to think about. Do you want to show hair or not show hair? Are you going to show like earmuffs on the side of the ears, like covering them, that would be covering up the ears? Or do you want to have some hair poofing out? A hat you might not see. My favorite scarf for winter, last winter, was it was a hat and scarf together. So I could do the hat and scarf part on here together. It was a unicorn. It's kind of silly, but I liked it. You know, but I like the idea of the earmuffs. So I'm going to put some poofy earmuffs, and then a nice warm scarf. And scarves are fabric, and so they're rounded, and they go through each other and overlap with each other. So I'm going to put the edges of the scarf here, and if my scarf is over and under, I'm thinking I'm going to bring, let's see, this over to here, and maybe this side comes like this. Maybe it goes over your shoulder. I had a scarf that ended in a bunch of fringe. That was kind of a fun scarf. So maybe this one will end in fringe too. So this is under that one, right? So now I've got my scarf, and now I need shoulders coming off to the sides, and my coat. Now, here's another decision you have to make. Do you want zipper or do you want buttons? So if you're gonna do, let me find a scrap paper here. Man, where did all my scrap paper go? It ran away. Okay, so zipper, if it's my coat with a zipper, right, here's my scarf, okay. Coat with a zipper, I'm just going to come down the middle here, and it's going to be sort of this texture, right? So that's kind of zipper-ish. Or if it's scarf here, right? Scarf. And then I've got coat that has buttons on it. And you decide buttons on this side or this side. Mine are usually, when it's closed, they're kind of, mine are usually actually on the other side. So I think I'm going to do the coat with the buttons, and I have room for 2 buttons on here. Okay, so there are my buttons, and I've got my earmuffs. Now, if I'm doing me, I would add some curly hair to this as well, because my hair is kind of out of control crazy. You might have short hair, and so we wouldn't see your hair. You're going to have to decide about that, right? So now we're moving into coloring and snowflakes. A couple options here. And what I'm going to do, oh, I tried to do this before and I couldn't find the gray. That's right. That makes me sad. I don't have a gray. So I guess I'm going to have to draw really lightly with my black crayon, or if I have, do I have a gray? I don't have a gray colored pencil, but I have a gray marker. All right, I'm going to do it with marker. So snowflakes. Traditionally, we think every snowflake is different. So be creative with your snowflakes. Start with a center, and then think about how many spokes you want coming off. Also, traditionally, snowflakes have 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what can you put on that to make it really cool, fun, and different? Well, I'm going to start with some circles on this one, and then I'm going to do some little pokies. Now this is radial symmetry, so whatever I do on one spoke, I do the same thing on all the other spokes. More fun is having more snowflakes. So, how many snowflakes in how many different designs and patterns can you create? I'm going to put this one with pattern around it like that. I'm going to do, did I get 6 or does this, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, I got an extra one. All right, fine, so be it. I'm going to do a shape around the outside of this one. What else can I do for another one? I want to get all of my snowflakes. Now, some of my snowflakes might get down here and come close to my face. I could even draw a snowflake on my tongue. I could also make a very tiny snowflake out of paper, and when I'm done coloring, I can glue the snowflake on. So when you're coloring, to make your artwork more interesting, you want to do a lot of blending and mixing of colors. The more colors and techniques you can use, the more interesting your artwork is going to be. So I'm not going to do the whole thing right now, but I'm going to review each of our techniques here. So outline and fill in. I have an outline around my shape. And now I'm just going around filling in. So, and with outline and fill in, part of the objective is that there's no white space showing, right? You want to color the whole thing. Think about patterns. My favorite winter coat is fairly boring. It's all solid pink like this. But if I do a little bit of blend and mix, and I put just around the edge of the scarf here, that adds a little bit of shadow to it. If I add a little bit here, now it looks like this side is higher or overlapping with this side, right? So when it's colored in, it just gives it a little more interest, right? When I think about earmuffs, I think about fuzzy, and I'm also thinking green at the moment. I'm not sure why green connects with me, but for fuzzy, I'm going to do a bunch of little lines to make these earmuffs look fuzzy and warm. So, and I want to do the same thing on both sides to get that sense of, they almost look like little poof ponytails, don't they? Except they're green. All I can think is warm, fuzzy earmuffs. And then a technique that I can use. Now, I would obviously want to have all of my marker drawn before I do this technique. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just peeling the wrapper from this crayon. If I'm done drawing snowflakes with the marker, this technique will work. If I want to do more snowflakes, this is going to be a problem. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my snowflake and I'm going to put it underneath, and then I am going to rub with the side of the tool. So I've laid my crayon down flat. And it's going to reveal, oh, don't color my nose blue, although maybe my nose is cold and so it's turned blue. This is much easier to do, by the way, if your artwork is laying down on a table instead of like mine up in the air. It's really kind of challenging. Okay. So that will reveal the texture that is underneath, which is kind of fun, right? So that's a technique you can use in there. Think about the skin color that you're going to show. Are you showing a self-portrait and it matches you? Or are you showing somebody else? I'm thinking also about my favorite scarf that I have, and it's got some fun patterns. It's really got a rainbow pattern, but I'm going to just improvise. So here's what I was talking about, patterns, right? So I'm just going to use bright colors for my scarf because, well, when it's cold out, don't you want warm colors to just make you feel warmer? I do. But that's me, maybe. So I'm just going to do a pattern. But you could do a pattern of polka dots. You can do a checkerboard pattern. You decide what your scarf should look like. You decide what your clothes should look like, right? Everybody's catching a snowflake, practicing a technique with the face, but you're going to personalize it and make it into your own outfit or a friend's favorite outfit. I'm going to use the pink here to color the tongue. And then I was noticing, just because, you notice these things, there's a little line in the middle of the tongue, and you have lots of little taste buds. So I'm going to do some little stippling, little marks to add some texture to the tongue. Because, wow, I want to go in and get some hot chocolate and taste the hot chocolate later, right, after I'm done being cold. So have fun playing with some snowflakes, making different unique patterns. Have fun with designing a favorite. Oh, I forgot to put the fringe on my scarf. See, that's what happens when you're talking instead of paying attention to what you're doing. All right. Anyway, have a great time catching snowflakes with a drawing. See you soon and share your artwork.